Good morning, everybody. Uneducated economist. So Jerome Powell came out yesterday, November 28th, 2018, and he said that we are now approaching neutral rates for the Fed fund rate, and the markets loved it. They rallied like crazy. Dow shot up like 600 points, and everybody started singing and dancing. And immediately alarm bells started going off. I was like, whoa, wait a minute here. There's something else here going on, that they're not talking about. And so I went and I read some of the articles. I really didn't find a whole lot on it. And I went to some of the guys on YouTube that I follow, and they weren't talking about this either. Now, if you go back and you watch my video, Autopilot, Fed Autopilot Policy, Causes and Effects, we talk a little bit about the neutral rate, right? And so what neutral rate is that they were going, or what the Fed had intended to do was they were going to raise interest rates every quarter, a quarter percentage point. So every quarter, it was going to go up 0.25 of a percentage point until they achieved this neutral rate. And what neutral rate was is GDP. And so what they wanted to do was land in the middle of GDP, so they were neither restrictive nor accommodative to the economy. They were neutral. They were right in the middle there. And in October, they said we are a long way from neutral. And now here it is, November 28th, and we're just below neutral. We're approaching neutral, they say. And immediately I'm like, hey, what did they just say here, guys? And nobody it seems to mention this. What they are saying, because we didn't raise interest rates. They didn't raise interest rates to get to this neutral rate. Neutral hit them. And what is neutral? It's growth. It's GDP. GDP is falling. Guys, it's falling like crazy. And that's why all of a sudden the Fed is just like, oops, wait, we can't raise interest rates or we're going to push ourselves into recession. Right? I mean, that's what I see, guys. And, that's what nobody seems to be talking about is the fact that GDP had to have fallen in order for the Fed to say, hey, we're approaching neutral right now, because they didn't raise interest rates into GDP. GDP came to the interest rates. Anyway, wanted to read this one to you too, because this is one of the things that that the Fed actually said. And here's the quote. It says, information on individual firms reveals that over the past year, firms with high leverage and interest burdens have increased their debt loads the most. In addition, other measures of underwriting quality have deteriorated and leverage multiples have moved up. Some of these highly leveraged borrowers would surely face distress if the economy turned down, leading investors to take higher than expected losses, developments that could exasperate the downturn. So what are you saying there? Information on individual firms reveals that over the past year, firms with high leverage and interest burdens, high leverage, too much debt, interest burdens, too big of a payment, have been increasing their debt loads the most, making the problem worse. So that's what he is saying. Individual firms have not only taken out too much debt, the interest rates have caused a problem with their paying, making the minimum payments on it, and the problem is not getting any better. They're taking on even more debt. In addition, other measures of underwriting quality have deteriorated. That means their credit quality worthiness, right? Their credit score, so to speak, is deteriorating. And leverage multiples have moved up, right? And again, back with the interest rates, right? So that's the leverage multiples. They're taking out more debt at a higher interest rate. Some of these highly leveraged borrowers would surely face distress if the economy turned down. Okay? So that's a big if. But he is saying that they will surely happen. This will definitely take place if the economy turns. Not maybe, not possibly, surely. You might as well have said definitely. Leading investors to take higher than expected losses. So people are going to lose out, right? And when he talks about investors, mainly, I think that's pension funds. When he says investors, when anybody out there says investors, I think pension funds, because they seem to be the ones who get the hit. Everybody else gets bailed out. Pension funds take the loss. Anyway, that's what I saw yesterday. Everybody talked about Fed funds rate being dropped, and that's singing and dancing, and that's happy news. And I saw GDP falling from that. What do you guys see? Let me know. Thank you. Talk to you guys later.